About wind gusts right now in the eye wall of Florence.
Huskies really look to right the ship in the front end of a home and home series.
We're open for Halloween and we're also open for Christmas.
A light show in North Haven tonight.
This exclusive video shows officers examining a gun.
The deadline for this reimbursement is this Saturday.
I'll have a preview of a matchup between one unbeaten team.
There were 2 rounds of calling hours here at Rentschler Field.
She's headed back to Washington on a new mission.
I've been invited by the Fight Colorectal Foundation to go and speak at the Senate to, let them know that these are the stories, these are people, these are lives that are forever changed. Scott didn't meet the criteria he wasn't 50. He wasn't 50 years old to receive his colonoscopy, and that cost him his life.
Dear Ms. Gagnon, I'm so terribly sorry to hear of your loss of your son, Michael. Opioid abuse is a national health emergency, and examples like yours motivate me to keep up the fight.
Off the main drag, on a back lot, there is a warehouse in West Hartford, dedicated to destruction. And here, it's always crunch time.
The Green Monster, eating up all the e-waste in Connecticut, serving people for the last 10 years.
Green Monster. Don't think Red Sox.
No, actually, I'm a Mets fan. I get that a lot, Jim.
Their game is grittier. Joe Galiotsados began Green Monster e-cycling from his basement over a decade ago. There's now 40,000 square feet where disassembling and data scrubbing happen daily.
It's a graveyard for the old computers. Yeah.
And everything else.
And everything else electronic. Green Monster is one of Connecticut's first electronics recycling facilities.
And one more.
Where you can drop off your electronics for free for residential people. We're in the state program. We also do, commercial pickups, commercial drop-offs here for free.
Your trash is their treasure. It's an 8-track flashback in here. Sega, Simon, even a Commodore 64.
Betamax, Laserdisc, you name it, we get it in. Everything has to have a place to be recycled properly so your data's wiped and it's destroyed, and that's what we do.
From boomboxes to Xboxes, Joe makes his profit in part by selling the scrap. And with all this mess, their mission is to keep things cleaner.
We don't want any of this in the landfill. We're in West Hartford, but everybody in the state can use our services for free.
In West Hartford, Jim Altman, Fox 61 News.
He's that guy in the room that makes you laugh.
He was an absolute professional day in and day out.
He's all of these things, kind of all wrapped up into one.
Scott Johnson wore many hats. A chief petty officer in the Coast Guard, a New Britain firefighter, and a father of 3. Johnson died in August, the victim of colorectal cancer. He was just 43 years old.
He's a friend. He was a friend to everybody.
Through the overwhelming tragedy, there has been triumph. Scott had a dying wish to once again be reunited with his father, Roy, a fellow veteran and Purple Heart recipient. That became his wife Caroline's mission.
During the most brutal moments, towards the end, when he knew he was really, really, sorry, see, here we go. When he knew he was really, really sick at the end, he asked me, he said, do what you can. I know it's gonna be hard. I know it's Arlington, but see how close you can get to me, to my dad. And I said, okay.
It would be the ultimate honor, and earlier this week, under a blue sky, more than 70 people traveled to pay tribute. Scott Johnson was laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery.
He's in section 4084 at marker 59 with his father. They are with each other. Overwhelming, but so deserved. So deserved.
Aboard Engine 2, Shane Burns worked the streets of New Britain with Johnson for a decade.
We're just probably most proud that he's able to have his big wish of being buried with his father at Arlington, which is great, not only on a family level, but him as a service member himself.
And Caroline, she's headed back to Washington on a new mission.
I've been invited by the Fight Colorectal Foundation to go and speak at the Senate to, let them know that these are the stories, these are people, these are lives that are forever changed. Scott didn't meet the criteria he wasn't 50. He wasn't 50 years old to receive his colonoscopy, and that cost him his life. I'm not okay with that. And nobody should be okay with that.
In New Britain, Jim Altman, Fox 61 News.